did you know that in the 2019 action-adventure game Outer Wilds, if you wait at the main menu for a really long time, this will happen. So from beginning to end, this clip is 17 minutes long. This is one of those small details that I doubt a lot of people would have seen, as ain't nobody got time for that. Hello and welcome to Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you things that you may not have known about your favourite games so that you can look really clever in front of Morbius. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, and if you do, I'll send you a cookie. Oh, and before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, UNMETAL, The Wild Kingdom. Now, it will come as no surprise that in UNMETAL, you play as a wolf, as you try to establish the most powerful wolf pack in the land. To do this, you'll need to recruit new wolves, train them up, and join other players in battle. Well, you could do that, or you could use your new four-legged friends to do battle against other real-world players. The choice is yours. You can even recruit hero wolves. These wolves are stronger than normal wolves and come with special abilities that could tip a battle in your favour. It's not all wolf-on-wolf action though. You'll need to explore a huge and, more importantly, wild map to make sure your wolf pack is collecting resources, finishing quests, and perhaps most crucially, expanding your territory. Wolves are notoriously territorial animals, and the same applies here. You need to make sure no one's trying to make a move on your turf. There's even a fully fledged campaign with RPG elements to keep you and your wolves busy. Put it this way, you won't run out of things to do in UNMETAL The Wild Kingdom. Pre-registration is available now on both Android and iOS ahead of the official launch on August the 25th. To register, simply click the link in the description. Oh, and don't forget to use my code, CEwolfgame, for some extra in-game rewards. Join the wolf pack, the hunt is on. A big thank you to UNMETAL The Wild Kingdom for sponsoring today's video, and without further delay, let's get started. Right, first up, let's revisit something that we kind of covered in the last episode of this series. In that video, I used this footage in the background as I spoke about 2D Metal Gear parody UNMETAL. Well, more than one of you pointed out that the insult spoken by the inmate was actually a reference to the Goonies, and this scene in particular.
You know, I got some naked pictures of your mom taking a bath. Wanna buy them? What? Real cheap.
Well done to all of you who pointed this one out. Another detail that we covered in that episode was the Way of the Coward in Splosion Man. The Way of the Coward could be activated by dying a lot in the Eggcellent 2D platformer. Well, a couple of years later, Ms. Splosion Man was released as the sequel to the 2009 original. Ms. Splosion Man is very similar to the original game, though this time you of course take control of Splosion Man's better half. If anything, Ms. Splosion Man is a better game with new areas, gameplay mechanics, and even a multiplayer mode. There's even a new version of Splosion Man's Way of the Coward, except this time it comes with a song. Once again, dying repeatedly on the same level will cause a pop-up to appear. Instead of Way of the Coward, the forbidden checkpoint appears. Again, you can skip the level at any time you like, but this time the threat of a curse looms large. Well, let's ignore the curse for now and choose to cheat on the game.
You're a cutie, then boom, back it up like a dump truck. Let me see you chucking your drum. You extra pounds stored up in them big round mounds, then boom, shake it up to the sweet sound. Shake it down to the ground now. The size of your thighs hypnotize all the guys, then boom, back it up like a dump truck. Let me see you chucking your drum. Just sit and stare, mesmerized by your derriere, then boom, shake it up to the sweet sound.
So not only are we treated to a truly brilliant song about big old booties, but you will notice that Miss Splosion Man has gone a little thicker in all the right areas, looking like a fluorescent pink Mrs. Incredible. I'll let you guys decide how this one makes you feel. Up next is the excellent, but not quite as excellent as the original, Bioshock Infinite. Bioshock Infinite had a lot to live up to when it released in 2013, with both Bioshock games that released before it, yes, even Bioshock 2, being brilliant. Like I said, Infinite didn't quite live up to the pre-release hype, but it's still a very good game. Now, we have covered some Infinite in this series before, with some loaves of bread being shaped like someone giving you the finger. Well, today's Infinite detail is thankfully more tasteful, though only just. When exploring Colombia with Elizabeth, you may need to take a quick toilet break. Well, if you head to the ladies, Elizabeth will say this.
Are you trying to get us both arrested?
So she does make a good point. It's not a good look for Booker to be hanging out in the women's toilets. Let's head to the men's room instead and see what happens.
I hope you don't intend for me to follow you in there. Are you all right in there?
Everything's fine.
Mr. DeWitt?
Just a minute.
So not only will Elizabeth flat out refuse to enter the male toilets, but if you wait long enough, she will ask if Booker is okay. It's a really cool detail. Next up is Gunpoint. Gunpoint is a stealth-based puzzle platformer that released in 2013. Set in the near future, you take control of spy Richard Conway, who has just come into the possession of a pair of trousers that allow him to jump great lengths. This means that you don't really need to interact with guards or enemies, as you can usually find a way around them, though you can pounce on enemies and subdue them with a quick punch. Now, one punch is enough to knock out a guard. However, if you continue to punch your fallen foe, this will happen. I love it when games anticipate what a player is going to do and then responds accordingly, especially when it accurately counts how many punches you've thrown. So let's end today's video with Batman Arkham Knight. At the end of my last video, I said you can expect to see more Arkham Knight in future videos, and well, here we are. The first detail from Arkham Knight is actually a follow-up to a detail from my last video. In that video, we discovered that when flying around Gotham, some statues and billboards would change their appearance, often showing the Joker's face before changing back to normal if you looked away. Well, I took another trip around Gotham to see if I could spot any other blink and you'll miss it Joker appearances, and here is what I found.
I think our radar console's faulty, too sensitive or something. What do you mean? Well, I'm pretty sure I just saw our turret taking pot shots at a bird. Now, was it a seagull? I hate seagulls.
I'm saying that giant freaking army ain't letting it turn up by now.
You know, Hugo Strange used to lecture us like Scarecrow, but he sent food packages too, you know?
I find this effect so cool, and judging by the comments in my last video, a lot of people who had played Arkham Knight didn't notice this when they played the game. So this next detail involves everyone's favourite bipolar baddie, Two-Face. If you didn't know, Gotham's District Attorney Harvey Dent got the name Two-Face after he had acid thrown on him during a court trial. This left Harvey horribly burnt on one side of his face, which left him looking like he had two faces, hence the new name. The burns on Dent's face are on full display in Arkham Knight. In fact, the detail on his face is actually pretty gory. After taking Two-Face down inside one of Gotham's banks, if you zoom in on his face, you can see this.
How's it going over there? See anything? Nothing.
So you can actually see Two-Face's veins moving as he lays unconscious. It's an unnecessary detail, but a really cool one too. The final detail from Arkham Knight is perhaps one of the most useful details I've ever shared. When trying to track down Johnny Charisma at Panessa Studios, Batman has to examine some CCTV footage to work out what the code to the door is. Now, how this is supposed to work is that you look in the mirror to see the code that Charisma is entering. Well, if you repeatedly fail to enter the code, this will happen.
The answer is here in the footage. I need to study it carefully. This is taking too long.
Brute force works too, I guess.
So there you go, no need to stress over doing something right anymore, just punch it until it works. If it's good for Batman, it's good for me. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter egg secrets and hidden details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel's all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.